Hey traders, Raghee here, and what we're going to do today is a breakdown of our day trades from the chat room. So these were the alerts that I sent out to members, and I kind of look at my day as a batter in a game, and I'll say, I had 3 at-bats and I went 2 for 3, or I had 2 at-bats and I went 1 for 2, and that's exactly what we did today. So I'm going to walk you through the day trades, 1 in the Russell and 1 in the NASDAQ. And this is with the whole host of tools, except for the V-Score. Everything else we make available to members for free, except for the V-Score and then the associated V-Score bands. But everything else we make available to the members for free. And the way that this trade started was with a 30-minute, so you can see the breach length minutes, 30-minute breach. So again, market moves lower through support, and then it rallies up to the zone. You can see this highlighted zone right here. And we were looking to do that, well, really twice. And so our stop was at 38.5. And I'll tell you what, I feel like on this one, I'm lucky. I feel like we were able to sort of dodge the stop. I mean, it was 1/10 away. And then our downside target was, I believe it was 30.5. So we finally got out of this thing. I don't consider this a big win. I mean, it's great that I was able to put something in the account, because the NAS took a little something out of the account. Now, before I get to the NAS, and we always want to spend more time on our losers than our winners. We do this in the chat room. I do this in the premium video all the time. And the reason I do this for members is because, well, trauma teaches. There's a whole lot more lesson-wise you can get out of a loser. And that's a big, I think that's one of those things that, for my members, is something that's really helped them turn the corner. Not the wins, right, but the losses. Now, in this case, the NAS wasn't a trade where I felt I was really breaking any rules. What I felt we had was a market that moved lower to the V-Score extreme, bounced up, which is exactly what I love to see. And in this zone right in here, let me lighten that pen up a little bit. In this zone right in here, we wanted to short. Well, one of the things that we're finding now is, and I'm seeing this when I look back on sort of the month-to-month, even week-to-week trades, is that whenever I have a short that fires off, I'm actually a little disappointed, because I'm thinking, great, this market has been wanting to just crush the short. We find reasons to rally regardless of whatever's going on. This market's just extremely bullish. And so rather than just saying, hey, we took a breach retreat and it stopped us out, which really doesn't help anybody, what I want to emphasize is one of the transitions that we're making in the room as of tomorrow is we're going to start to do something we did back in Q2 of 2018, and that's put a filter on our trades that prioritizes oversold buys. Because I'm seeing this time and time again. I get a clearing range breach to the downside in this environment specifically, roughly since about May, I'd say about May, middle of May forward, right? About middle of May forward, we're seeing that there's just an epic preference to the upside. So what we're going to start to do is look for the range extreme lows and either take profit if we are short and reverse, or just wait on the sidelines for that opportunity and get long. So I won't call this something I did back then, which was a long only bias, which we did, like I said, Q2 2018. But this is definitely going to be a prioritization of the long side, because I think had I focused on that as a filter as opposed to my breach retreats, which I typically have done throughout my career, yes, the Russell worked out, but the NAS really didn't. The NAS definitely did not. And, for those of you that are initial balance breach fans, we just dropped this to 60 and we can take a look. It wasn't, here's another tricky thing. It wasn't like we had an initial balance breach to the upside. So this is a tricky market, gang, because had we had a clearing range breach to the downside, which we did, and then an initial balance breach to the upside, which we did not, it would have been a whole lot easier to close out our short sells and focus on the long side using our initial balance breach retreat to the VWAP buys, which I love to do. This is another tactic we'll use going into the midday doldrums and the end of the day. But that's just not what we got. So when I see the market structured like this, not working or moving in those sort of typical fashion, I have to adjust. And this is one of the adjustments that we're going to make. Hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next update.